5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, great flick on by Alan Armstrong. Oh, what a beauty! Oh, what a beauty! I waited all my life for that. What a screamer!
I say we just buy Chelsea and make them our reserves. Hello and cheers for joining us here on the Scarf Begala War, where the opinions are opinions, the guests are guests, and the research is almost non-existent. Apart from that, the most topical joke we'll ever do. That's like hot, that is. That's red hot, that joke. I had to wear gloves while I was writing it down. Mental. Evening all, how we doing? Still top of that Blue Square Premier, I see. I'm Nick Lee, here to hold your hand, but not in a creepy way, through the next hour of County Chat. And who's that fellow over there, on the video version at least, but not in a creepy way? How you doing, matey Bobs? Oh, sorry, it's Russ Johnson.
How do? You all right?
How you doing, matey Bobs? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right, yeah. How are you?
Yeah, good. The heat is on, eh?
The heat is on. That's what it's starting to feel like. And I'm sure we'll talk about it. Definitely.
Yeah, it's happening, isn't it?
Yeah, it's happening. Oh, I don't know. Is it happening? I mean, I just go through every day now, almost shitting my pants like every day. We've only just started March. God knows what I'm going to be like in like late April. Jesus.
Yeah. Take a spare pair of trousers, Mrs. Johnson.
Indeed.
And who have we got with us tonight? Anyways, I thought you were just going to... So well prepared tonight, mate.
You've paused, so I didn't know what was going on. Oh, now you're back. Okay. Right. I didn't know what was going on then. Sorry. Right. Yeah, well, we've got Sam with us. Quickly becoming part of the furniture, Sam. So thanks for coming on and joining us. It really means a lot. And yeah, we'll just talk about all things county. We're going to talk about the Weymouth match last Saturday. Talk about the Aldershot match this coming Saturday on the telly. We're kind of laughing because I said Alty twice before we came on. And we'll just talk about everything in between. So all the matches that happened last night.
And we've got Liam Richardson's voice twin, as people have pointed out.
We have.
I've got a bit of a cold tonight, so I think I sound even more Bolton than normal, which I thought was never, but apparently it's quite a lot that I sound like that. So yeah.
Right. Before we get into the Weymouth match, I'll just run these titles because it's my obligation to do so. This is the Scarf Begala War, a Stockport County fan-created podcast, blog, YouTube live show and website. Find us at thescarfbegarawar.co.uk. For county fans, by county fans. And with that, please subscribe. We are 108 away from 1,000. The longest running competition in history. Do you know when we first started it, right? Honestly, when Andy said he'd sponsor us and that for it, I thought, we're on about 400 now. I was almost thinking, after a week, I'll be telling Andy to go and buy a shirt and get that merch bundle going.
But it's getting to that awkward point now. Where it's like, if someone wins now, there's no point giving them a shirt for this season, is it? It's like, just DM us in July when the new one comes out.
Might do it for next season. I feel like getting one of those little, SpongeBob SquarePants where it goes 6,000 years later.
Well, not to tempt fate, but when we won the National League North, there was a blue and gold champions shirt released, wasn't there?
Mm.
So you never know. Maybe if we can get over the line, that might be something that that becomes a bit of a thing. Maybe
shirts, yes, it could be. That's a good idea. Yeah. Undercover Liam, as Sydney Exile says. Please do subscribe, and if you're listening on any podcast player, please do follow us and comment and rate and all those good things. And the comments are coming in as well today, so we'll just pick out some of those as we do that. Weymouth on Saturday.
We're loving making it hard for ourselves, aren't we?
Well, yeah, you mentioned a couple of weeks ago, didn't you, about the Spennymoor game? I think, and it's the Spennymoor anniversary today, isn't it? So it's happy birthday, Sam Walker, for that.
That's a smooth link, that.
Yeah, so I thought that there was more comparisons with the Spennymoor game on Saturday than there was with the one that we said previously. Similar
Absolutely.
goal as well, in sort of similar sort of area. What do you think?
In general, or about that comparison?
About the comparison, about the game, about the
Yeah,
target.
I'd go along with that comparison. Just as I agree with everything you say, mate. I'd go right on with that. Yeah, always right. If you were in charge, there would be no wars.
I've got to back you up because I was on Strawberry Radio on Saturday and I actually said, I think I described the cross as like the Sam Walker corridor.
Yeah.
Like, that corridor of uncertainty that they call it in. Like, just where either it can get a nick and fly in or it can go straight in, like Sam Walker did a few years ago. So yes, excellent comparison, if I say so myself.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll claim
that everyone.
One. Yeah, everyone that said it. Yeah.
God bless us, every one of us.
There was a few things that I did notice, and we'll come on to the red card and what effect that has on us shortly. I've actually made some notes while I was there because I knew that I'd forget. I've put Keane, Cranks, and Hippo under par. Don't know what you think about that. Long ball, half the time, pretty much all match. Too many loose passes, not up to the usual standard. Palmer was great again. And then towards the end, Charlie was sat back in his seat, not happy at all. And I think all that probably came out in the post-match because Charlie wasn't happy with the whole performance. Certainly wasn't happy with Kitch. Dissect that. Where do you want to start?
On the players that were on the par, I think I do feel a little bit for Ollie Crankshaw because you sort of think has he really played as a winger for us where he's that's his position, and he's kind of got, I think he's on 8 goals in the league from an unfamiliar position, so I do feel for him, but it's not quite clicking. I mean, I think if we were going to use a player in that position, for me, if it's not Sarcevic, if he's not fit, then you'd probably look more for a Ben Whitfield. And even Whitfield, it's not a familiar position for him either. But I just think he offers a little bit more if he is going to play off the strikers, in behind the strikers. So I do feel for Ollie Crankshaw, but yeah, it was a bit of a frustrating one. I imagine, as much as we're saying he was under par and it's frustrating for us, I imagine it was frustrating for him as well. But unfortunately, when you're top of the league and you've won 11 and 12, you can't suddenly shift to a formation with wingers to accommodate one player. So, that's kind of where he finds himself at the minute.
It's still reassuring, though, that this is a blip at the moment that we're in, and we're still winning.
Well, that was going to be one of my questions to you two. Is this our blip, or are we yet to have our blip? And I mean, if this is our blip and we're struggling past teams 1-0, then
if this is it, then yeah.
I mean, I think we had our 3-month blip from August. Actually, just on Crankshaw, I saw someone just said that it might suit Newby playing there better. Which I mean, it suits Anthony Sarcevic playing there. That's what we're missing, and that's hopefully what we'll see on maybe Saturday, maybe the week after. Again, like you mentioned, Miles Hippolyte, because he came on, didn't he? And me and John had mentioned on the radio, I think he's one of those that, like we saw in the Chesterfield game, he grew into it. Unfortunately, when you're coming off the bench in the second half, you've not got much time to grow into the game, especially when we're not under the cosh, because for all that it was a really poor second half, I think Weymouth had the one that they kind of bundled towards Hinchliffe, and then the header kind of late on. So I don't think we're under the cosh, but when you're almost second best to an extent in the second half, which we possibly were, it's kind of difficult to grow into the game. So, and given the role that he's asked to do in Anthony Sarcevic's absence, it's not a role that you can afford to come on and grow into. You have to be at it immediately. unfortunately, yeah, a bit of a. I think it was just a rough second half all round, which obviously, as you say, that kind of came out in Challinger's post match as well.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to tolerate a repeat, is he? Which is reassuring. But again, we're still, we're coming away talking about it, but we've got 3 points. And we're still even a below par county is enough to take points off the week. Obviously, we're going to need to be better again with some of the games we've got coming up. But if we can get away with it like that, then it's still a good sign. I'm holding on to that. I did love the looking at the team's forums like during the game, like the Chesterfield and Wrexham forums during the game on Saturday. So like, this is it. This is Stockport's blip. This is it. This is it. It's like, well, yeah, fine. It's me, just fine.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, I think in a way, games like Weymouth and not so much Woking, because that, we were down to 10 men for the duration of the game that we actually went on to win it, but the Dover game as well. I think those games are probably not better for us, but they're more like they serve more of a purpose for Dave Challoner than beating Kings Lynn 5-0. I mean, what does beating Kings Lynn 5-0 tell you? That they're pretty bad, that we're pretty good. So, we probably should be doing that. We were beating Kings Lynn 4-0 last season when, most people would say that we weren't great during that unbeaten run last season. So I think the games like Saturday serve more of a purpose, because you still want to win the game, and we still did win the game. But if you can win the game while taking a lot out of it in terms of things to improve on, that's probably the best of both worlds in a way. Like, if we got held 0-0, or if they equalised late on last Saturday, then yeah, we can turn around and go, oh, we'll learn from it. Yeah, we'll learn from it. But in the meantime, we've dropped 2 points. So I think those games, and like the Dover game when we won late on, if Challoner can, he's always improving on something from the previous game. And I know he'd mentioned in his pre-match interview last week about we'd only scored once in the first half in the last 7 games before last Saturday.
Right.
And he touched on that in his pre-match interview and said, yeah, we were addressing that, we got to work on it, and then we went and scored in the first half. All right, it's only 1 goal, but you can just see a pattern of improving on things game by game. And if you think back to the start of earlier on in the season before Challoner came in, we were losing, which all teams will lose at some point, but we were losing games comfortably. And then the next game, you'd be like, we've literally learned nothing. We're just doing the exact same stuff and getting beat again. So yeah, I think games like Saturday, like I say, they're not better. Obviously, we'd all probably prefer to win every game 5-0. But if you can win and still take something from it, as we are doing, then win-win to an extent.
Yeah, I see that. I think where it concerns me slightly, and I know I was looking for negative last week, but I don't know, another 1-0 win against a poor team just fills me full of, okay, you can win 1-0 against a poor team, struggle to a win, whatever, learn your lessons from it. Okay, when we play, it's been said a lot, when we play a better team that's more expansive, we'll be able to pick them off. But we played Chesterfield and we struggled in the first half against Chesterfield, didn't we? So I'm just intrigued to play a team that is half decent but not quite up there, and I guess Aldershot will provide a bit of that on Saturday. I think the Notts County match for me a week on Tuesday, I think it is. That's going to be the match where I look at it and think, after an hour, how are we doing? If we're absolutely blitzing him 3-0, then I'll be really, really confident and really happy. And if it's a struggle, then I might start thinking, I don't know. I don't know what you think.
I'm not giving my opinion, mate, because if I do, it'll just get screen recorded and posted on the podcast's Twitter pages of rival teams. So
yeah, that happened, didn't it?
Yeah.
But I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. But to be fair, I thought some of the replies from Wrexham fans were more measured, because I saw a few Wrexham fans actually going, well, they just sound like us. Like, they sound like what we're saying. Like, I think you'd mentioned in the clip, was it something about winning games ugly, or not battering teams or whatever, and they were like, yeah, that's kind of what we're doing. They beat Wealdstone 2-1 in the 95th minute against 10 men. So yeah, I just on that, I think I know there's been a little bit of like people, like you say, reading other clubs' forums, and they're probably reading ours, and posting stuff on Twitter. Of course, every team that's up there thinks they're going to win it or thinks they can win it. No one's won anything yet, so why would Wrexham or Chesterfield or even Notts County, maybe less so after last night, but why would they not think they're going to win it? It's not. That's what's going to happen. It's just fans talking, isn't it? And
yeah, I know. Well, I noticed they didn't post the bit where I said Wrexham are our biggest threat, apart from Russia.
No, they didn't post that, but it's kind of alluded to. I think it was Tim from Fearless and Devotion, wasn't it? I think he kind of alluded to that we were getting a bit jittery because we've seen them as our biggest threat. But they're allowed to take snippets and feed it back to them, aren't they? Just like we did with I did with the Chesterfield lads. It's all part of the banter.
Exactly, yeah, it's all part of it. And Wrexham more than anyone should probably look at County and think, yeah, of course we're jittery. Like, have you seen where we've been for the last decade? Like, why would we not be? Like, they would be. They probably are. Like, with both two massive clubs that have been kind of dwindling for years. It's not, any club that's up there would be jittery, but I think for clubs like ourselves and Notts County and Chesterfield and Wrexham, of course, there's going to be that added bit of maybe pressure because there's so much riding on getting back into the league. So, of course, we're jittery. I don't think there's any. I'm not particularly looking forward to Saturday, not because I think we'll lose or we'll struggle, but I'm getting to that point where I just want the games to be over.
Same.
I just don't want to sit
honestly.
through it, and yeah.
That's the same, but it's the feelings only started coming over me recently, like probably since just before last Saturday. Actually, when you look at the table and you look at who the other teams have got, and you look at our last 4 games. Things like that, all these different factors play into it, don't they? And I'm starting to get really, really nervous now. Excited, nervous, but like, oh God,
I think it's. I think someone had commented that the players are looking nervous. Well, I know they get paid. The players we brought in, Liam Hogan and those kind of players have been there and done it, and that's part of the reason why we put them in.
Yeah,
but they're going to be nervous. I was watching. Some highlights of the Football League from last weekend and last night, and I think Forest Green are 10 points clear. They were held last night. They lost 2-1 at Crawley on Saturday. They lost 1-0 at home to Walsall the Tuesday before. The top of the league by 10 points. You'd think they'd just go on and storm it, but they're having a blip and they're getting jittery. I saw Rotherham's manager. Obviously, we came up against them earlier in the season. I saw their manager had spoken the other day after beating. I think they beat Plymouth 1-0, and he said, we're not battering teams. We're getting over the line, but we're a bit shaky at the minute. So while we're a bit shaky, we're just getting over the line. These teams are all top of their respective divisions as high as League One, and the players are getting a bit nervy, and the fans are probably getting nervy and tense. And you come up against teams that you think you should batter, and you've just got to get the job done.
Do you think there's a part in the season of every season of every league, certainly in this country, where this sort of February, March time, maybe even late January, February, March time, where people are still vying for position, and teams like the lower teams in the division are coming away to teams that are near the top, and they're giving it a really good go. But then as you get into mid-March and late March, maybe early April and onwards, there's a sort of a resignation that a team like us are top, they're bottom, and they just kind of give up to a certain extent. There's not much more to play for. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to know whether it is more the top team being nervy and edgy, or the bottom team being fired up, or maybe a little bit of both. I mean, I remember us already being relegated in League One and being down there in League Two and going away to some of the top teams or teams up in the playoffs. And I think we were down in League One when we went to Norwich, and they'd either already won promotion or they were about to. And I think they scraped past us 2-1, like massive crowd. We had like Jabo Abere up front, and we just, even though we were rock bottom and we were already down and we'd just been beaten 6-0 the previous week or whatever it was, like, maybe you get up for it a little bit more because it's a big ground. Maybe they are getting a bit edgy the nearer they get to the finishing line. I think it's probably a little bit of both. But like I say, show me a division in the world where the top team, apart from maybe Manchester City, don't start getting a bit edgy. You know, and if Chesterfield can go level on points with us on Saturday before we kick off,
yeah,
you know, if they do, watch them start to get a bit nervy, intense. You know, all teams up there will do. So, but yeah, it'd be interesting to know whether, like you say, the likes of Weymouth are just more fired up, or whether we are just kind of bricking it a little bit.
yeah. I have this sort of mental battle with myself that, you know, we are top. We were 6 points clear before last night. And I was thinking, well, if they win their game in hand, it's going to be 3. Wrexham win theirs, one of theirs, blah, 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 all these permutations. But I'm thinking, well, you'd rather be in our position, wouldn't you, than be one of the chasing pack? So you're shitting yourself when you're ahead. You know, we're all sat there dead nervous. But if you're behind, you're wondering if you can keep
no
up
margin
the
for error.
Yeah, you've got exactly. Yeah, well put. You've got no margin for error when you're in the chasing pack. So yeah, it just makes me nervous. I like it. Well, but we're not used to this being top of the league's malarkey, are we? Really? You know, however long you've been playing.
I think it's how, obviously, you know, at the minute we're only 3 points clear of the, you know, with the game in hand, but I think it's how long we've been top as well, and how long we could be top. Like the title winning season a couple of years ago, I think we were only actually top for we'd be top for one game, and then Chorley would win their game in hand, and then we'd win our game, and then it was only ever when we got to the Chorley away game that it was like, right, it's kind of do or die across this next week. Whereas now it's like every week you're looking at permutations. Whereas back then it was, well, we're second there first. We've knocked Spennymoor out of the equation by beating them, and it was just two teams just kind of one-upping each other every week, and you could never get too nervous because you'd be second one week. So
yeah.
Whereas now we're top, we could be 6 points clear again on Saturday. It's just one of those things of like, because of how long we've been there, you can't help but start to get a bit edgy. And like I say, you know, it's obviously us talking like that, but I'm sure the players are. I know Dave Chalmers had mentioned that he doesn't mind being top. He says he knows that people say, oh, it's, you know, it's a different kind of pressure, which I'm sure it is, but he doesn't mind it. He'd rather be in that position, and you know, have people coming taking a shot at you and trying to see him off. And I mean, even last night, I know we're probably going to touch on the result last night that kind of affected us a little bit, but I saw some people say, you know, it's better for Chesterfield to win. Some people saying it's better for Notts County to win. Some people saying that obviously the draw would have been best, and that just shows that we're looking at games where we don't really mind which one of the title rivals or promotion rivals wins, because we just know that we can put ourselves in a position where we're comfortably, well, quite comfortably clear of some of them. So yeah, I think, you know, we'll be nervous for the rest of the season as fans, and it's on the players just to kind of ride it out. And you know, if they are nervous, then just keep picking up the wins like we are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you just touched on something there about the players and about sort of fans. I mean, obviously we think completely differently to the players, don't we? But
Speak for yourself, mate.
but
I made pancakes last night as well, so it's like Quigs and Macca. I'm just like them.
But it's I mean, it's our job. It's our job to be nervous, and it's their job not to be nervous in it. And it's their job to just. I know it's cliche, and Charlie probably says it every interview. They're just thinking about the next match and getting through the next match. And I'd rather be a player in this scenario. And this is where I don't know about you. I'd rather be at the match as well. I'm less nervous when I'm at the match than when I'm at home or watching results come in and all that kind of stuff. Is that the same for you too?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just speaking for myself. I'm more nervous when we're at home. When we go away from home, I probably jinxed it now, but when we go away from home, like the Bromley game a couple of Tuesday nights ago, it was just like, I was just sat in the press box like, we're going to win. I know we're going to win this game. You can just, obviously it's easy to say that now, but I was genuinely sat there, you know, with Liam and John and the others, and it was like, we know we're going to win this game, and like Dagenham game on BT in January, 2-0 after 5 minutes. It's just a different ball game almost. And but yeah, at Edgley Park, it's another story for me. I get a bit more nervous there.
Yeah, why is that?
Well, look at the recent weeks.
Well, I know, but it's not. It's kind of manifested itself, hasn't it? It's not just like. Do you know what I mean? It's why is it? Why are we such a different team at home? Or not such a different team, but we just seem to perform not as well as we do when we're away. What is that down to?
I think when we're away, the home team's almost got an obligation to come at us a little bit. Bromley, they were at the time, I think they were 5th when we went there. So you can't. I'm not sure how they'd take it if we went to the team in 5th and their time wasting and putting men behind the ball. And I mean, in a way, they did that because I think they were trying to catch us on the counter, and it just never quite worked for them. But I think there is that little bit more space in behind. Whereas, even the likes of Dover and Weymouth, they're just setting up with 2 blocks of 4, sometimes 5, when they're at Edgley Park, and they're just happy to, both Dover and Weymouth would have taken 0-0 straight from the first minute, whereas Bromley, Bromley a team like Bromley might take a point against us at their place as we get to like the 75th, 80th minute. But in the earlier stages, they've got to be seen to be, at least giving it a bit of a go. So maybe this Saturday will be different. Maybe Aldershot will be happy to settle for a point early doors. They're kind of struggling a little bit. I've been reading a lot of their fans have got quite a big downer on their side at the minute. So maybe this Saturday will be more like the games we've seen in recent weeks, where we've got to be patient and try and break them down.
Oh, not another one.
Having said that, we keep breaking them down. So
yeah. As long as we are. We've had a comment from Silomas, a great former manager of ours, said many times, "I'm a big believer in your biggest game being your next match. Wonder what happened to him." I think he's managing like the kids at PSV or something. Oh, isn't he, Darrier?
Oh, he said that.
No.
I was going to say, who was it? Was that Gannon? Was it?
I was just doing a thing. I'm assuming it's Danny Big. I don't know, actually, now. Don't know.
Well, that could be any manager. Yeah, right in. PO box.
I just thought Kalasic would be funniest. I should have gone for. I should have said his assistant at Dundee now. That would have been funnier. Slightly.
Yeah, it's an intriguing position.
God, Simon Russ did say it as well.
Did he? Rusky Boy said it all the time. Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong though, is it? I mean, like I say, every manager says it up and down the country. You can't ask any manager a question. They just come back with, the next match is the most important. It's not.
Yeah,
it's not exclusive to Rusky, is it? Really?
It's like saying Tuesday comes before Wednesday, isn't it? Well, yeah. Oh, you need to breathe to stay alive. Cheers. Bit basic.
But yeah, just going back to it, it's a weird position, isn't it? Because we're not used to being top. And listening to the other podcasts, as I do, when they were top, honestly, the certainly with the Chesterfield lads, they oozed confidence. It was just like, yeah, we're going to win this. We should be 10 points more clear. And it's like, but I don't feel that way. Why don't I feel that way now? Confident. I'm sure loads of county fans are confident.
But inside, they were crying. Just know that, mate. Inside, they were shitting themselves as well.
Okay, before we move on to the match on Saturday, let's just cover the...
There's a red card to cover, isn't there?
Oh, God, yeah, sorry, yeah.
A silly red card.
There was.
Challoner mentioned in his interview it was going to be discipline. I think he'll be getting fined, Kitchen, or whatever. But particularly after the Hogan one, it was just. I mean, it's all a bit something and nothing, isn't it? But he's given the referee a decision to make, and it's just daft, especially at a time where we can't really be losing defenders, particularly left-sided ones.
Well, that's it. Both went off injured, didn't they? Rydell and Johnson.
Yeah.
And then he goes and does that. I mean, Challoner must have been absolutely... Well, he said it, wasn't he? He'll get the biggest fine that the club can give him, and he's absolutely livid, and he's let him know that. I was quite surprised when I heard that. I thought that's a bit open for an interview, but yeah, fair enough.
It's obviously it's not. It is one of those things that's really annoying, but I had to have a laugh when I watched it back, and you can, if you watch the incident back on the highlights, you can see Challoner in the background, and he literally, like, if looks could kill, like, Mark Kitchen would have just been on the floor. Like, even during the incident, like, Challoner stood in the dugout behind him. You can just catch him on, you can just see him on camera, and he's just staring absolute daggers at him. And obviously, it is one of those things that's really infuriating. But yeah, it is you can't help but laugh a little bit when you see it.
Yeah. That's probably Dave Challoner's second best bit of background media work this week. Did you see him on the? Did you see his reaction to Southern Hales with the pancakes? Comedy timing from Dave Challoner.
No, I've not watched it yet. I'll give it a watch.
Oh mate, absolutely sublime. And these little videos getting to know the players. I'm really enjoying them. I think the media team are doing a great job with them. Nice little insight into what goes on. Obviously, you get the odd person going, "Oh well, maybe he should be training."
Yeah, it is. I think I saw someone say, like, it's one of those things that, like, you can't do if you're 12, like, which is fair enough. Maybe you can if you no disrespect, but maybe you can do that if you're, like, I don't know, Woking or something, where you're not going to go down and you're not going to go up. But if you're a team like us and we're in 9th or 10th at this stage of the season, you got time, aren't you? Which, to be fair, the lads are doing, like, really well, and all the stuff that's coming out is coming out at, like, really good times. And like the videos that they're doing for, like, advertising the games, like the one they did for the Chesterfield game, I think they've done a similar one for Notts County. Like, it just adds. It's just little things that, like, just keep the momentum of the fans, like, ticking over.
Yeah, it's important. I think it's really important stuff. I'm really enjoying it as well. Particularly Dave Conlon saying that he likes Oasis and Stone Roses.
I'd have told you that without looking.
Without looking at what?
The video. I wouldn't have needed to.
Oh, right.
If you said to me, what bands is Dave Conlon into, I'd have said Oasis, Roses.
Yeah, but you know what? Right, we've been doing this for 7 years now. Right, and we're what did we have? We had Duxbury down as brass bands. That was wrong. Didn't we?
That was only jokingly though.
I know it was. I know it was. But yeah, he's welcoming the County Arms. Anytime I've got literally an Oasis and Stone Roses cover on the wall here. You know what I mean? So he can come in.
You should actually. I don't know. I'm assuming, like, it's probably not possible at the minute, given that he's assisting in a side that are, like, in a title race. But at some point, when it's possible, like, he'd be really good. Like, he's, like, obviously he's a dead nice guy and everything, but he's just got, like, loads of, like, he's actually, when I spoke to Jim last January for a piece on his 500th game, I spoke to Dave as well, and actually we kind of sat down, me and him, and went through his games that he'd been assistant manager at the club for, and he was pushing, like, 400.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think people realise, like, I didn't realise he was assistant for quite a while under Lordy, and then Jim, like, the third time, and obviously he's, like, managed a team a couple of games as well. But yeah, at some point when there's not a title race going on, he'd be really good.
Yeah, and we don't forget what last year we voted him unsung hero. Just for being the glue, in the camp. So I guess the red card was stupid. What about the injuries to Johnson and Rydell? Because Johnson went off at half time, if I remember. Did he?
Yeah, right? and then Rydell pulled up, like, early in the second half. He said Rydell will be. He said a week or two, and I think they're hoping Johnson's all right for Saturday. So fingers crossed. Okay. It might be one of those that goes to the wire, and then we see literally on the day. But he does his interview on Thursday evening, so Dave Challoner. So maybe we'll see something come out on
interesting
Friday.
To see what happens at left wing back. I think that's going to be the interesting one to see what happens there. That's what everyone's going to have an eye out for.
Well, this is it. I've already seen somebody's fan hub first 11 prediction, and they've got Whitfield at left wing back. So we're going back to those days, aren't we? Or potentially, because we didn't have that there. But where does it leave us? So Kitching has a 1-match ban for 2 yellows. Hogs is a 3-match ban, so he's served one of those. Is that correct?
He's back for knots, sir.
He's back for knots. So I mean, what does that leave us then? Barkley's away at Yeovil still. That got extended. So
Pie is not spending more.
Yeah, I'm guessing. I think he's ill or he's injured because they couldn't field a full 16.
Yeah, and
he wasn't in the squad.
Right.
Yeah.
And he has been starting for them. It's not a case of like, he's not good enough to get in a reduced squad or anything. He's literally been starting for them. So,
Ryan Morse put Hippolyte is a left back by trade, so we're fine for left wing back.
I'm not sure. I mean, when he signed, they literally kind of said he could play almost every position under the sun apart from goalkeeper, probably including goalkeeper to be fair. But I'm not sure. I mean, he kind of struggled on Saturday, didn't he, going to left wing back. So I wouldn't be confident, but needs must. I guess we'll see on the day. Yeah. If Johnson's okay, then I mean it'd be very much he's not going to be the kind of left wing back to get up and down the pitch all game, but he's got he does venture forward with the ball at times from that kind of left-sided centre half role, and he can get a half decent ball into the box. So maybe for one game, it's worth a go if that's what we're left with. I think Whitfield at left wing back takes a lot out of his game, and it's probably not worth the risk. We'll see.
But needs
plus, if I see a number 10 playing left back again, I will self-harm. Someone literally wearing number 10 on the shirt and line up. No, I'm not having that.
Yeah. In fact, someone just messaged in. Elodis, Macaulay, Southam Hales at left wing back, Minion at right back. Well, I'll counter that with.
Sure, well, that's what Sam thinks about it.
Well, Sam Minion has played left back before, hasn't he?
Yeah. I wasn't having that. I don't think it's his.
He's probably orange coloured for the left back position.
Yes. Yeah.
But like I say, needs must. So it'd be interesting to see how we line up on Saturday. You might even go.
Josh Edwards as well, though, isn't there? Josh Edwards. I mean, he's played there in the trophy game and stuff.
I mean, Ethan Pye. If I don't know what his situation is this week, if he is, if he's fit and he can be recalled, he's not. I suppose he's more of that left-sided centre half, like we saw with Kitchen when Charlton first came in. But he came on. Charlton brought him on at Bolton in his first game. Ethan Pye, and he played against Dover in. I think he played against Weymouth when we won 2-1 there earlier in the season and did okay. You'd like to think we've got enough to win the game. Obviously, if this Saturday was Notts County at home or a promotion rival, then it's a bit of a different story. But you'd like to think that we've got enough to get over the line, even if it is a makeshift left-sided player for the day.
And just coming on to Aldershot, not forgetting that they're down there as well, aren't they? That they're just outside the relegation places. Only won one in the last 5. So it's not like it. You see, before we started the show, I thought they were about mid-table, but they're not. They're right down there. So,
like I say, Wrexham gave them a pasting last weekend, albeit it was at Wrexham. And their fans, from what I was reading online, were just like so down about where they're at. Because we really, I mean, this probably doesn't narrow it down, but at the time we played them at home, we really kind of struggled past them.
Yeah.
And 1-0, and I think around that time with the new manager, or the manager at the time hadn't been there long, and he'd kind of got a bit of an uplift in form from them. But it's all, we've spoken for probably 20 minutes about how nervous we all are about the title race, but it's one of those games where, you can account for the nerves of the promotion race and all that, but, all things being equal, we should be going winning the game, even if we are starting with Kenny Boxall at left wing back.
Yeah, I know. It's nice to hear you say that because I am nervous. But when you obviously you say that, it's when you look at it objectively like that, then we're top of the league for a reason. We should really be going to these places and winning matches like this. Yeah. Anything about the other matches and this week? I mean, or anything more about Weymouth before we move on?
No, I mean, the red card. That obviously all the stuff we've just spoken about is why Dave Challoner was, or one of the reasons why Dave Challoner was so angry.
Yeah.
I saw some people commenting that they don't think it was a red. I mean, it was enough to be a second yellow. Like, that's how many times you see a little confrontation like that where there's not much in it, but both players just get a token yellow card. And their lad did get booked as well. So if he's booked their lad for his part in the little head-to-head, then you can't not book Kitchen. It's enough to be a second yellow. And given, like Dave Challoner said, A, he was already on the yellow card with him.
Yeah.
And C, he'd gone in from 10 yards away, whatever it is. Literally, I think their lad tried to drag, was it Crankshaw off the ground when he fouled him. So, he'll live. Just leave it. It's fine. So yeah, you can see obviously all the stuff we've just spoken about and all the comments from people talking about what we're going to do at left wing back is why he was so annoyed, especially after I think he said they'd had a meeting in the week about not about discipline, but just about staying composed and not getting dragged into stuff like that. And actually, although we should have enough to get past Aldershot, you'd like to hope. What you don't want it to do is give sides like Notts County an impetus to go, all right, well, we go there a week on Tuesday, give them a little niggle, square up to someone and get them, give them a little kick out or something like that to get them fired up and get them man sent off. You don't want it to start leading to things like that and having an effect later on in the title race when we're playing Boreham Wood and Chesterfield and Wrexham and all those teams.
Yeah. I'd like to think that they've spoken about that again and reiterated it this week, because that's really easy done. And Kitch got lost in the moment. And you need the part of being a professional footballer is being game aware and circumstance aware, isn't it? And not getting carried away with those things. And it does just take one thing to get maybe someone who's not as prepared to flare up like that. Yeah. Okay. Into the midweek fixtures then. So. It's funny because you know what? In all the time we've been doing this podcast, and I know I always say this, but we've never really talked about oppositions and what they're doing when we're not playing. It's always been about us and County. And now we're in a title race. We're talking about other results. It's bizarre. So, the two games from last night that mattered to us really is Wrexham beat Kingsland 2-0 and Chesterfield eventually beat Notts County 3-1. I had a bit of a look on Notts County's sort of Twitter feed, their podcast, Notts County Talk. They're sort of questioning now whether they can win automatic. And I'm thinking, you're asking that question now? But hell, you a couple of months ago, surely.
Yeah. I mean, I saw. It's one of those things where you kind of start to wonder, you see. You get to this time of the season and in the promotion race, and you see certain players at certain clubs coming out with, they'll speak to the press either before a game or after a game, and they come out with stuff, and you just think, why have he said that? Like Jeff King for Chesterfield a few months ago said they're the best team in the league by a country mile.
Yeah.
He then, I think he said it. He then got sent off against us. Got a 3-match ban, and they went on to concede a 2-goal lead, drew 1-1 at Weymouth, and then got beat by Solihull. So, they picked up obviously last night, and they got a win against Yeovil last weekend as well. So, from their point of view, they'll think they're right back in it. But you just think, what benefit have you got from saying that you think you're the best team in the league by a country mile? If you are, just wait till the end of the season, and the league table will show it. And if you're not, then you've just left yourself open for clubs, to be fired up by it, or to just make yourself look like a tit at the end of the season. And then quite similar as well. I think Cameron at Notts County, their captain, I think the local paper for Notts County put out a piece yesterday where he'd said, it was, I'm paraphrasing, but it was basically like, oh yeah, we're well in the title race. All we need to do is win our games in hand, beat Stockport, and then they lose another game, and then we've won the title. Like it was like, oh yeah, we've won it. All we need to do is win like 7 games and hope that no one else wins any other games.
Yeah.
And then immediately after they got beat 3-1, and it's kind of, they're not out of it entirely, but you feel like they had to win last night, beat us, and hope that we also drop points to actually be up there. And again, like that's a similar thing of like, why have you said that? Just focus on doing it. Like, I don't think we've had anyone come out and say anything that could potentially come back and bite us. And Dave Chalner, every time he does an interview, he's confident, but he's never said anything that's worthy of like another team's. Where people say something and another team goes, right, that's, we're remembering that they've said that, we're going to use it as motivation or whatever. Like, just focus on yourself and don't leave yourself open to that kind of thing. Like I say, Chesterfield will think that they're back in it, and fair play to them. If they beat Southend on Saturday, they'll be level with us before we've kicked a ball. So, and that will probably put some pressure. Imagine the fans at 5 o'clock just before we've kicked off, seeing that second place are level on points with us, albeit we'll have 2 games in hand. Imagine if we're nervous like during the week, imagine seeing that a team have pulled it back to be level with you. And of course we've got 2 games in hand, but how often do we all say it's points on the board that matter? So fair play to them. They've still got a lot of work to do, but like I say, no one's won anything, so Chesterfield will feel just as much as we do, or just as much as Wrexham do, that they're going to win the title, or that they can win the title. So yeah, because of that, you end up spending your midweeks now looking at their results and looking at flash scores and seeing what's happening, and it's a bit of a weird feeling.
Yeah, it's unhealthy. I've been looking at it too much, almost. But say if they are, and they're likely to be on the same points as us, obviously we'll have 2 in hand, like you say, on Saturday evening before we kick off. Just going back to wanting to be in the ground because I'm less nervous, that would be for me as a fan, and I'm not going Saturday, unfortunately, but I'd be like, right, come on, I'm up for it now. I wouldn't be nervous at all. I'd be up for it. Because if I turn the tables and we just gone a level on them, okay, and Chesterfield had 2 games in hand, I'd be thinking, in my mind, games in hand always means a win. In my mind, that's how I always calculate it. So it get me right fired up for it as a fan. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, the players probably won't have time, I think, to know.
No.
Like, I remember when we played Dagenham at the 5 kickoff, I think we spoke to them after, and I think they said they'd spoke about it on the way out of the dressing room, but it's not, you don't want to be doing that, do you? You don't want to be, like, the last thing you hear before you go out for your game, you don't want it to be, oh, Chesterfield have just won 4-0, or they've done it.
Yeah.
Just, again, like another cliche that managers always say, but literally just focus on yourself. And actually, the Dagenham game, like, I think teams had done, I think Bournemouth were held by Weymouth, but other than that, teams around us had won. And actually, we went out, as far as I'm aware, not knowing what the scores were, and we would see all after 5 minutes. And you could see from social media and stuff, other teams' fans that were on the way home from their games were like, right, we've won, Stockport are under pressure on TV, big game at Dagenham, and then we check the phone and it's 2-0 after 5 minutes, and it just knocks stuffing out of them a little bit.
Yeah,
that's what you want.
Yeah.
We want, in a way, you think, would it be the worst thing in the world if Chesterfield won on Saturday? They're all fired up, and then you just go out and just put a dampener back again on the hopes that we'll be building up if they win. So, and Southend are banging form as well. They're one of the form teams of this year so far. So it's not an easy game. And like I say, last Saturday we kind of struggled past Yeovil 1-0 on BT. So every team will have slip ups, and are we going to go the rest of the season? Are we going to go 14 more games unbeaten?
Yeah.
Okay. Possibly not. So every team will have at least a game or two that they start to slip up in. So
yeah.
Control the controllables.
Nick, you be careful what you say because you'll be getting clipped.
I did notice with Chesterfield's win last night, in true Chesterfield fashion, it came at a price. As their big money signing, Joe Quigley, came on as a sub after 23 minutes and then went off after 77, which you'd assume was an injury.
Well, I don't know because I don't know.
It wasn't.
Was it not an injury?
No.
Because he got. I'm sure when he's been subbed in the previous matches, listening to their podcast, he's been booed while he's been subbed off.
Yeah, they're not a fan, are they?
No, he wasn't injured. He's not. I just don't think it's a signing that worked out for them. And it beggars belief a little bit that they sanctioned the signing of him under James Rowe to then suspend the manager like less than a week later. Like, it was obviously a signing the manager specifically requested. If there's any doubt, I don't know why you'd go and do that and reportedly spend, similar to what we signed Paddy Madden for. Just bizarre, but it's not really worked out for him yet. Maybe he'll have a really good end to the season, but I mean, he was never prolific at Yeovil, so
no,
I'm not sure. Unless he just thought he'd be a good foil for Tishimanga and Asante, and then obviously as soon as he's come in, Tishimanga's got injured.
Pressure's on.
So yeah, pressure's definitely on.
Yeah, Sai Lomas. Sai Lomas, Jordan Davis went off for Wrexham. Yeah, he did. Doesn't look too serious. Are we in danger of talking about other teams more than we're talking about ourselves and worry about other teams? We'll probably get clipped for all this, won't we? And it'll go on.
It's just good to give like a little. This is like for the people who don't look at what everyone else is doing. This is a little weekly roundup, isn't it? We're only providing information. You don't have a go at the news readers for the war, do you?
No, true. This is very true. Yeah, so it's just interesting to talk about the others. So, I mean, we could talk about it a lot more, I'm sure, and do all the permutations. Boreham Wood, again, still, they've got 3 games in hand.
I was going to say something about Chesterfield then, an opinion about Chesterfield, but I might hold on to it for a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we're in FA Trophy action next Saturday. Yeah. Which is good, and obviously everyone will want a day out at Wembley if we're celebrating promotion. But Boreham Wood Chesterfield is on. That's the BT Sport game next Saturday at 5:20, which, I mean, keep playing each other. It's fine. I know we've got to play them in the last 4 or 5 games, but if we can get to that point and there's only one team competing with us, it's ideal, really. And I mean, I read a stat today that we've got the easiest running. Obviously, we're all looking at the last 4 games, but they mean the running as in from here to the end of the season. And then, right, in terms of the top 6 or 7 teams, apparently we have what would be called the easiest in terms of the teams we play. So if we've still got, our last 4 games are what? Boreham Wood, Chesterfield, Wrexham, Halifax, and we think that's tough, which it obviously is. What are the other teams doing? If I think they've just got to play each other sooner. That's all. Yeah. Which may be an advantage, maybe a disadvantage, because if for example Chesterfield come up against 4 of the top teams much earlier in the run-in and lose them all, then they're already out of it. We play them at the end, and it could be, not to tempt fate, it could be that we only need 1 result from those 4 or 2 results. So, you all play the same amount of games, and of course there are better times to come up against certain teams, but just keep, winning games as long as we can and see where it takes us.
I mean, of all those teams, Halifax seem to have the best, what on paper is the best running. But football isn't played on paper, it's played on a pitch. But the pitch is a state as well. So, yeah. There's always a leveller around the corner.
Yeah.
That's it. You look at Halifax running, there's always something to It's going to be a mental couple of months.
Oh,
It's going to be bonkers. It's going to be absolutely bonkers. Just slowly, it's going to be like the Hunger Games. They're all just going to fall away.
The thing is, like, you take, this isn't to kind of like take any pleasure in, like, for example, like Tishimanga, but you've got to take in a title race. In any title race, you've got to take the little like 1% and 2% advantages where you can, like, not that, but if you think like Halifax's pitch, you've got to take that as an advantage. Like, I remember Spennymoor got to, when they were still well in the title race in 2019, they were playing Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, like pretty much every week because of how bad the pitch was, and that just did for them in the end. So anything like that, you've just got to take it as a little bonus, and anything that helps in any way, just take it, run with it, and make sure that we're minimising anything that might disrupt us. Which is, again, probably going back to why he was so frustrated about the red cards. Just anything that might be on the horizon that could give other teams an advantage or a bonus or a little boost. Just minimise like everything within your power to make sure we're giving nothing away. And then if a blip or if a bad result comes along here or there, you'd hope the impact is kind of minimised from it.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. You're not doing my nerves any good. I'll say that much. all this chitter chatter about the permutations.
I mean, what I would say is, does any county fan who's seen the Glenn Taylor moment and seen all the stuff in the 90s and the full Wembley trip, does any county fan really, really expect us to be like comfortably home and dry by 3 weeks? Like, it's just not.
Look at the comments, yeah.
Yeah. Like, no, but obviously, you can have a bit of, it's good to have the confidence and the optimism. And like you say, you look at other teams' forums and they're probably full of fans saying, yeah, we're going to do it, we're going to catch them. You want that, but at the same time, there's a long way to go, and we've got to keep doing what we're doing. And I don't think Dave Challoner's given any of us any reason to not be confident. So just run with that. Yeah,
I'm going to take that advice. Actually, I'm just going to listen to Dave Challoner, and that's it. I'm just going to run with that because he does. I said it before. I love the way he's so sort of direct with it. Even his language, the language that he uses, he doesn't give anything away, but plays toes that line of this is what we do. He's almost like he's really efficient in the way he talks. In his pre and post matches.
Nice to have that again.
It's what?
Yeah. It's nice to have that again, isn't it?
Again, yeah. Well, it is what it is, and we've got Charlie now, so yeah.
You're such a snide. Leave him alone. Leave Steve alone.
So yeah. That's the Aldershot game. No, we haven't talked. We kind of talked about the Aldershot. We covered it, haven't we? Yeah, we've done it. Anything more to discuss from this week? By all accounts, it's been a bit of a quiet week in some respects, hasn't it?
The calm before the storm, isn't it?
It feels like it. Yeah, honestly, I'm so nervous. I can't tell you.
I'm very much looking forward to the FA Trophy game, where we are going to have that thing of, well, if we don't win, it's going to be all right. It's not going to affect anything. I mean, I think we will anyway, but that's going to be such a nice little. But then everyone else will be playing at the same time, won't they?
Anytime we're in the FA Trophy, I have this mixture of like, I want us to get to Wembley. I mean, what I would say is I want us to get to Wembley, but I mean, if we get to Wembley in the FA Trophy final and we've finished third or fourth in the league,
exactly,
it's not. I think Dave Challoner's always been big on, he wants to get to Wembley, but he wants to do both. Like, it's very much, one is to celebrate, the ideal would be to get to Wembley and celebrate the fact we won the title a week earlier or whatever it is. But when we're in the FA Trophy, I've just got this like FOMO of like the National League. Like, I'm just looking at all these other teams like playing, and like I remember like the Cheshunt game. I think it worked out well because that was when Weymouth equalised against Chesterfield in the National League while we were playing Cheshunt. But But yeah, it's obviously you're watching us and wanting to get to Wembley, but you're looking at the other teams and playing in the league and just thinking like you don't want to give them any sniff of like a chance to catch up. Even though we've all got to play the same number of games, I have this like irrational thought that they're going to catch up on us while we're not playing.
Like
we're going to return the week after and we're going to be like 15 points behind, and there's like everyone's just completely cut adrift. So yeah, it's one of those things that Dave Chalmers, like I say, he's managed it all really well so far. So just got to trust that we'll be all right.
Yeah. Phil Panton's got it spot on. Cheers for getting in touch, Phil. Wembley is for the fans, the league is for the club. That's spot on that. Just imagine a day out at Wembley with no pressure, having already won the league. That's spot on. That's what I'm holding out for. We're aiming to win it.
You get to the FA Trophy final having, without tempting any fate whatsoever, if you won the title and you get to Wembley afterwards, once we're there at Wembley, that's the occasion, isn't it? Whether you win the FA Trophy or not. Obviously, you want to win it when you get there, but whether we actually went on to win the trophy itself in the final, or whether we're just at Wembley for a big piss up, to celebrate it, it's more actually being there. It's more actually the occasion itself. Although I do kind of have this desire for us to just like win the National League and just take all the trophies with us. Do the Cheshire Cup as well. Take the Cheshire Cup with us.
I mean, whatever happens, it could be worse. We could be like up for sale and 2-1 down at Luton, as Chelsea are right now. So swings and roundabouts, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Well, bloody hell, I imagine there'll be a big celebration for Luton fans, given they scored twice against Chelsea. That's double what Chesterfield scored.
Yeah, I mean that's 12 months. That's 12 months of replying to all the tweets instead of 6. if they get a third, it's 18 months, and they've been rid of them.
Yeah,
lovely stuff. Lovely stuff.
Admin, Ross.
Admin, yeah. Again, Fan Hub, yeah. Coming out very soon for Fan Hub. The inner circle will have seen this, but I think it's common knowledge now. But if you do get 11 out of 11 from the 9th of March, then you win a free pint.
Yeah.
But we're trying to get it so it's just a free drink for those that don't drink. So that's going to be coming soon.
Bloody, nanny state, bloody snowflake, bloody PC gone mad society, bloody nanny state. Oh, I'm so angry now. Back in my day, your dad used to just kick you into the back room of the pub and say, right, there's a pint, there's 20 Woodbines, don't come back until you've done them all. Bloody namby-pambies.
So that's coming soon from the 9th of March, and the only pub in Stockport you can redeem it at, actually, is the King's Tap in Cheadle Hulme.
That's fine, mate. I'll go Cheadle Hulme and get looked down on and have stuff thrown at me because I'm from Cheadle. It's horrible.
And there's loads in Manchester though, so that's coming soon. And yeah, get on that. What else? It's the fair. It's the programme fair on Sunday.
Yes, on Sunday, Ed Powell's programme fair. I have 2 pieces of admin that I didn't bother telling you about beforehand or anything, but here we go. So Stockport Gin. Paul from Stockport Gin will actually be joining us before the big launch of the Bagara Gin. They've already sold 2/3 of the batch with the pre-orders of the special Danny Bagara Gin. So if you want that, get a move on. They're taking pre-orders until the official launch on the 9th of April. So go to stockport-gin.com/Bagara Gin. And all the links are on the County Co-op Twitter and stuff as well. It's all there. Yeah, and I think we'll be nipping down, won't we, Russ? We're going to nip down and drink all the gin, aren't we?
Yeah, so hopefully, I think we can say it, can't we? Hopefully we're going to do not a live show, we're going to do a show from the gin place, aren't we? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So that'll be good.
Yeah. And the artwork on the gin is done by Pen O'Jaws, friend of the show, as well. So it's like wrapped up in a big podcast bow. Isn't it? And it's got you're doing the advert for it, aren't you, Russ? You're doing like a sensual, like a perfume advert.
Oh yeah.
You're doing one of them, but for the gin.
I'm gonna have my top off. I'm gonna be riding a horse and wiping gin all over me.
Oh,
Just
God,
just something
can't wait.
nonsensical, you know.
Yeah, it'll fit right in.
Yeah.
And for those fans of Geordie Hatter's County Away Day show, because there's more of them than there is fans of this shit, he's not. Well, you're gonna have to put up with this because he's not doing it at weekend. We're having him repainted. If you weren't aware, having the black and white stripes put back on him now. Newcastle are winning again. But he will be back for the FA Trophy game next week. He's just got a busy life. We've all got busy lives, haven't we?
We have. We might do a pre-match show on Saturday. Watch the results come in, and then cut over to JK and probably Liam. I'm guessing, unless it's you, Sam, going on Saturday.
Liam's doing commentary on Saturday. Yeah.
Liam's doing
Or is it me?
comms,
Or is it me?
To most people, it doesn't matter, Sam.
Yeah.
Take the mask off.
Well, if you want to do something on Saturday afternoon, Ross, I'd be up for that because I'm going to see the Coral on Saturday night, so I'll be getting some good. So you can just watch me drink. That'll be good, won't it?
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we can do. I might be going out and doing something. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Well, let's have a chat about that offline, shall we? Off air, Nick.
Best place for it.
Best place, really. Best place. Anything else admin wise? I don't think so. Next week we've got Dan Sampson coming back on. Yeah,
strap in.
I know. I know. Back by popular demand.
I don't think Simon Wilson's going to be watching.
And then we have got Ben Walker coming on soon as well. You'll know him as the Stockport County shirt collection if you don't already know that. I mean, everybody knows Ben now, don't they?
Fabric botherer, serial fabric botherer.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. That's it. Anything else?
It's not it. I'm being asked the same question again.
Sorry.
Every week.
Oh God, sorry. Yeah. What is the album cover? I know what it is because I've got it. So I've got matching record collections.
Probably have, pretty much. Yeah, it's the Second Coming by the Stone Roses. I like it. And if you know what film that quote is from, then send it on a postcard or a stamped address envelope or whatever people did back then.
I like it. I mean, that could be anything, surely.
No, the Second Coming. I like it.
Oh, the second. Oh, right. Okay. I don't know what that's from.
Well, I'm not going to tell you. So,
okay. Comment. Answer in the comments. Get the comments going if you know what
but
it is.
It's all ending now, so there'll be no comments coming in. So people have to wait until next week,
you can still put comments. We still like comments. Yeah.
Oh, I might start doing that. I might just start abusing you in the week then. Because when I do it through WhatsApp, you don't read it.
Favorite track off the album?
See, I'm
gonna get one wrong again now, aren't I?
Oh, that's good. I do like the fact with Second Coming, like the whole world was waiting for a new Stone Roses album, and they just kind of like got stoned for 5 years and listened to Zeppelin, and it shows. I probably love Spreads, Russ, but whatever you say, I really hope you get it wrong again.
Yeah, I'm not going to say.
I want to be a door.
I'm not saying anything this time. I do know what my favourite is, but I don't know what it's called. And it might even be Love Spreads, actually. But we'll talk about that offline and see if it's the same one. Right.
This is awful.
Yeah. Right. Cheers, Sam, for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it.
Cheers, boys.
Okay. See everybody later. Bye now. This is the Scarf Bagara War, a Stockport County fan-created podcast, blog, YouTube live show and website. Find us at thescarfbagarawar.co.uk. For county fans, by county fans.